Good morning. This is Elder G again. This is September 2nd, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. God can woke me up one more time. God can start me on my way. God can clothe me in my right mind. And all my limbs are working properly. Every morning when I get up, that's my process. Sometimes I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I go through that process all over again. Since I done woke up, I go through that process. And when I can't sleep, I do things that I wouldn't usually do, but since I'm awake and I can't get back to sleep, I just go ahead and do those things. I want to talk about this morning is when you are believing in God and someone do something to you that's wrong and it make you mad. It make you mad. Even as a man of God, I still feel just like you. When someone do something against me, I get mad just like you. Sometimes it take me days just to calm down or just to get it out of your mind. When I started doing these videos, I always promised you when I came on these videos that I'll tell you the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. So the reason I did this broadcast is because I want my sisters and brothers to know ain't nothing special about me, ain't nothing special about no preacher or no deacon or no choir, no usher board, no motherboard. You still a human being and you have feelings and your feelings is gonna react when someone do something against you that wasn't right. I'm gonna talk about an incident that happened to me. And then I'm gonna tell you the results. When I was in my 20s, I wouldn't be on here talking like this. Because the person that did it to me, see, when you raised in a low income area, or you raised in projects, and you raised in communities that they call the ghetto, that there's gunshot and there's people breaking in people's houses, and those things are happening every day. And in order for you to survive in that kind of environment, no matter how much you love God, when you're in an environment, when you got kids, or you have a wife, or you have an elderly parent or something, or someone that can't take care of themselves, and say like you're on a low income, say you're on a fixed income like me. See, the only income that I have right now is a Social Security check. See, I'm not sick. And 5 years ago, I retired, so I only get my Social Security check. But I'm able to work on a regular job. I could be doing real good because I can go out and get a job, maybe making $23 or $24 an hour. I could do that. But I'm not going to do that. But what I did was, when I left my job, I had already prepared myself that I can survive on my Social Security check until I decide what I really want to do. So about 3 weeks ago, my water heater broke. So I didn't want to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that and buy a hot water heater because I didn't want to pay no $600 or $700 for a water heater. I think that's way too much. You used to get a hot water heater for $149, $199, or $200. Now they $7, $8, $9, $1,500 for a water heater. To me, that's unjust. I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather to be debt-free. I'd rather not to have a mortgage. I'd rather not to have a car note. But if my car breaks down and I don't have the money to go out and pay cash for a car, I will have to go in debt. I'm not saying don't do that, because if my car breaks, I will, because I need transportation. But as long as I can stay out of debt, I will. That's why I learned to do my own electrical work. I learned to do my own plumbing. I learned painting, how to do sheetrock and all that, how to put 10 tiles. I don't know how to do shingles yet, but 10 tiles. So anything that I have to do to whatever I have is, I used to work on cars, but I didn't like all the oil and stuff getting on my hand. But I could work on them. When I was in high school, I rebuilt my engine to my Cougar, a 69 Cougar. So I know how to do it. There's just certain things that I don't like to do. And I want to show my sisters and brothers in real life, not what I read in college, not what I learned in high school, not what I learned from books or from other people around me. It's the people, it's the things that I learned on my own. Sometimes it was the hard way. But sometimes when you learn something the hard way, you don't want to repeat that. So I go through Facebook Marketplace and I find a guy. I already been looking like 2 weeks, so I seen this guy. He had a hot water heater. It was $250. Then he reduced it to $250 to $200, and then $150, and then he went down to $125. So I thought that was a good deal. So I went. He lives in Tuscaloosa, and I went and got the hot water. Didn't even have a truck. I had to go get the hot water heater and tie it on the back of my car. That's how limited my funds were. It's not that I couldn't have borrowed some money and when I bought a hot water heater. I just didn't want to do it. Because, see, all the years that I worked in the cotton field, pulling peanut, digging potatoes, and cutting grass and janitorial work, all those things it was hard on the body. It was a lot of wear and tear on the body. Your ankles, standing up all night. Sometimes I had to do 2 shifts on an assembly line. That's 16 hours. Wrist hurting, all that. So I wasn't going to tear up my body. I wasn't going to continue to tear up my body in my 60s. So I retired. So now I can get up when I want to get up, if I want to get up. Some mornings I roll over in bed and I don't want to get up and I don't feel like it. I just roll back over and go back to sleep. That's the convenience of having no debt, no mortgage. That's very important. Even when I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol, I had high blood pressure all my life. My blood pressure always been about the late 80s or 150, 159, 149. My blood pressure always been like that from a kid. So when I started taking blood pressure medicine and cholesterol medicine, I was listening to what the doctor's saying is that if you're in pretty good health and God can bless me right now with 6 to 8 years, and about 3 years ago, I stopped taking whatever blood pressure medicine I was taking and whatever cholesterol medicine I was taking, because the medicine I was taking was making me feel like a zombie. But the main thing was how it made me feel. It felt like I was always sleeping and my eyes was always dry. So I look at what God gave me. God say he gave you 70 years, guaranteed. That don't mean that someone ain't going to kill you. You ain't going to die from gunshot. Somebody's going to stab you. Or you're going to be in a car wreck or something that fall off a building or something like that. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about God is going to bless you with 70 years. So that means that I could be 70 years old today, healthy, blood pressure doing good, no diseases, no cancer, none of that. And I could go to bed tonight and not wake up in the morning. Just go to sleep with no pain, no trouble, no nothing. And don't wake up in the morning. God can call my number. But other than an accident or falling off a building or something, you got a good chance to reach that 70 age that God promised to you. And then a lot of preachers and a lot of deacons and a lot of mothers and everything, they fail to tell the people the whole truth and nothing but the truth. God is not just going to church. God ain't just paying tithes. God just ain't about pastor anniversary, a choir anniversary, a usher anniversary, a mother's anniversary. God is not about that. God created Satan and his angels for a reason. Those things is what challenge you. When you're going down the road and you see a stop sign, that lets you know that this intersection is very dangerous. If you want to survive and you don't want to hurt nobody else, you need to obey the rules of the road. So when I see a stop sign, I stop because I know that I'm protecting myself and I'm protecting the other people that are going up and down the road too. See, I'm supposed to care about everybody, not just by myself. So what happened is, I get the thing, so I wait a couple of days and I get up and I hook up the hot water heater and everything. So I wait about 3 or 4 hours and then I go check the water, and the water is all over the floor. So at the bottom of the hot water heater where the cutoff valve is, the water was coming out there, and then it had some dirt up in there. When it cleaned out, water was just leaking all over the floor. And then the hot water heater wouldn't get hot. So I called the guy. I text the guy because he don't give me a phone number because it's on Facebook Marketplace. So I text him, tell him the water leaking around the valve, and I'm going to let the hot water heater stay hooked up overnight, and I'm going to see if the hot water heater is going to get hot. But when I bought the hot water heater from the guy, I asked him, I know this hot water heater don't have no warranty on it. I know that. But I want you to guarantee me that this hot water heater is going to work when I get home. So when I get home and hook it up, you guarantee that it's going to get hot and it's not going to leak? He said yes. So that's why I gave him my money, I loaded up the hot water heater and went home. But then when I had a problem with the hot water heater, he started talking a lot of jive. He's a white guy. He started talking that prejudice stuff like, don't disrespect him like that because I told him that I want my hot water heater. And he told me that Sunday that he was with his wife and he was going to come. And he was at a wedding, I think. And he was going to come and he was going to call me Saturday and let me know Sunday when I was supposed to come get my money. But he didn't do that. Instead, he blocked me from going on his page. And then he was threatening me in the text, talking about what he gonna do. I ain't working with no wimp now. He got my money, a man that's on a fixed income, that saving that little $125 to get his hot water heater. And he talked all that smack to me and blocked me from the page. So what he's saying is he's not going to give me his money, my money. Now, this guy, he lived in Tulsa. He let me came to his house. That he lived with his daddy that's like 81 years old. Now he don't know me from Adam. So he gonna sell me a no good hot water here that he probably just took out the trash or took out an empty house somewhere and he need to make a few dollars. And he know I know his address and he don't know nothing about me. This is the first time that he ever met me. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. My blood in my head just started boiling. Because I remember who I used to be. I remember where I used to live and the community I used to live in. And all those things start flooding back in my head. And my first check in my mind was when he did it was to think back when I was in the hood. What I had to do in the hood, if somebody did that to me, and I was in the hood, I would have to act on it. Because if I didn't act on it, someone would think I'm just a wimp and a punk. And then every time somebody see me, they'll try to punk me out. See, if I was in the hood like that and somebody around there, I would have to act on it. And I would have to do more damage to him and his family than he did to mine. And the more damage that I did, and the way that I could do more damage was to go after his 81-year-old dad. That would have been the thing for me to do. I would have went after his dad. I would have made him remember that you don't mess with Elder G. I do. And that stayed on my mind for about 3 days. One time one night I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning and I wanted to just get in my car. And I wanted to go up there and just tear all his cars up and break the windows out of his house. That's what I would have did when I was in the hood to keep my manhood intact and to keep someone from coming after my family. I had to let them know. I had to send a message that you don't mess with my family. And that's the way it is. So that's why I want to be truthful and honest with my sisters and brothers. To let my sister and brother know that just because you believe in God now, with your heart, mind, and soul, and you accept Jesus Christ as your own personal Savior. But everything that you learn in your youth up until now, all those tools are still in the toolbox. I still know what I need to do if I had to do it to protect me or to protect myself. I didn't forget nothing. I just set that revenge thing to the side. And I stopped believing in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, like Jesus said. I learned from my mistakes. And that's why I'm telling you, because I want you to learn from your mistake too. The mistake that man made, over $125, could have cost him and his father their life. If you was in the right community, in the hood, in the project, living in Section 8 apartment where dog eat dogs, then you wouldn't have no idea what I'm talking about. See, sometimes you have to live the experience. So I laid there and I thought about it. For 3 days, I kept it on my mind. And I just told my friend yesterday about what was on my mind for 3 days. So don't think because I iron my shirt and I put on a tie and put on a jacket. If I need to survive and I need to protect my family, I will use every means necessary. And I think that you would do the same thing. If someone came after your family and you were living in a neighborhood where you couldn't let nobody do that because people come after you and come after your own. Every time you go home, your house will be robbed. When someone do you like that, you had to make a statement. That's why I pray for everybody. Every morning I get up, I pray for the people that's in the nursing home. And I pray for their family. Because I know how hard it is when your family's in the nursing home and not doing well. I pray for the one that's in the hospital, that's in pain, that their limbs are not working properly, that their mind is not regulated. I pray for them. I pray for the one that's behind prison bar, that don't even know if they're ever going to see their family again, or they ever going to hit the street. I pray for them because I know how hard that it ain't going to take but a little bit to make them nut up. And to make them do wrong. I understand that. I feel the compassion. I know. It's not what somebody told me. It's what I know. And the one that's in the jailhouses that don't know if they're going to get a bail again. Don't know whatever they did. They may not never see the street again or see their family again. It happens. There's people in jail, been in jail 30 years. Ain't no family member never visit them or sent them any money. Those are some dangerous people in the jailhouse and the prisons. But I learned, and I learned that if you let Jesus lead you, and you let Jesus guide you in the way that he would have you to go, the Bible said, if you go into a situation that was your own fault, that means you went against God. If you go into a situation that was your own fault, if you accept Jesus Christ in that situation, it said Jesus will give you 7 ways to escape. So now when I go into a situation, when I'm mad, yeah, I get mad. I still get mad. When I'm mad and I'm pissed off and I want revenge, I go into my closet or I get down on my knees and I ask Jesus to build me up where I'm torn down. I ask Jesus to strengthen me where I'm weak. I ask Jesus to make a way out of no way. I ask Jesus to build me a bridge over troubled waters. I ask Jesus, when I'm sick, to be my doctor in a sick room. I ask Jesus to be my bright and morning star. That means he's my Savior. He's my Messiah. He's my way out of no way. That's what I ask Jesus to do. So I understand sometimes that you got to step back. But sometimes when you walking after Christ, and you let Christ lead and guide you in the way that he will have you go. You let Christ take that stumbling block out of your way instead of you in your anger trying to get that stumbling block out of your way. You let Christ do that and you just sit back. God got somebody that's going to take care of this situation for me. All I need to do is to keep my faith in God and not resort to what I learned in the hood. See, a lot of people is doing wrong. See, like President Trump and his men, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Supreme Court, and the Justice Department, with Pam Bondi, with Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, the FBI with Kash Patel. All those people are against the Constitution. See, our rights in the Constitution is guaranteed. My freedom to speak is guaranteed. That means that God told me I can do anything I want to as long as it's following Christ and to protect the rights of the Constitution that we swore an oath to, whether it's foreign people or whether it's domestic. See, Donald Trump is trying to bankrupt America because he got convicted of those crimes, because he's not attractive, because he claimed he's so educated. I didn't go to college. You never hear me come on here talking about how educated I am and how much I know better than you. You always see me come on here humble and say that I'm not an educated man as far as school, but God put me in places with real people that educated me on how to survive and how to make the life better for my family. A lot of white people did that. That's why I got respect for a lot of white folks. But even though I got respect for white folks, I still have to tell the truth about the prejudiced one that believe that black and brown people is not human beings. I still have to tell the white people the truth. I'm not trying to do no white person no harm. But I'm letting you know what you talking about is lie. All them lies Donald Trump told you talking about the Democrat is a deep state. And all them Christian channels like Fox News and News Nation and all those places acting like God is only on the Republican side. But the Democrats and the black people and the brown people, they really don't believe in God, when we are the ones that really believe in God. We are the ones that made Christianity what it is today. Because we didn't have nobody else to lean on but Jesus. So we have more faith. I'm not saying that we better than nobody. We prayed to God to bring us through slavery when we was only 20 people here in America. We prayed for God to bring us through Jim Crow and the voting rights marches and the Civil Rights Act. We prayed that president, like Lyndon Johnson, that signed the Voting Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. There's a lot of white people I pray for. I have a lot of white friends. White people taught me what I know because they saw in me a kind heart. They saw in me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Unless something else come up. I can go out there and promise somebody I come take them to the store, but I go out there and my car don't start. I'll call them, I got a flat tire. I'll call them up and say I can't make it. I got a flat tire. But I go out there earlier to make sure and walk around the car, make sure that everything's intact, like maybe an hour before the time for me to go, because I want to give them enough time that they can make an alternative to me taking them there. But Donald Trump and his minion, Mike Johnson, he said that Jesus came and spoke to him personally, came to him and spoke to him and called him. I said that's a lie. You can't put 600 people in a plane that you done took these 600 kids away from their parent. Think about this now. How evil can you get? You done took these kids, it said as young as 5, 600 of them, and you done snatched them from their parents. And their parent probably don't even know where they are. They here on the asylum. They here legally, but Trump don't want to get. So he got to wait till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's going to try to slip because he don't want the court to find out. He's going to try to slip and put 600 people on the plane and ship them back to Guatemala. He's going to take free lunches from some schools and snap the food stamp that feed them for nutritional. And tutorial program. And he's going to try to get rid of the Board of Education. And then he's going to take money from FEMA and spend money down there in Florida in alligator Alcatraz that they didn't even get the proper permit. The Native American style suit, because it's a wetland. It's a land that helped the nourish their farms and everything. He took the money from FEMA that you use when there's a tornado or earthquake or something, or fire. He took that money, $250 million, and put up some tents down there in the Everglades, surrounded by alligators. They said mosquitoes down there biggest flies. And he took those people off the street that was working at Home Depot, that was working and picking the fruits and vegetables that you eat every day. I working in the chicken factory, or the poultry, or the pork factory, or the beef factory. They go into the schools, right outside the school, daycare centers, courthouses. That ain't godly. And those people that's working, they paying taxes. They may not be here legally, but you can believe if you're working at Walmart, they cutting taxes. If you working at Pico or Tyson Chicken, they cutting taxes. Is that the president white man just keeping the money? So he take the money from FEMA and from the Board of Education, and he wanted to take from NIH, and he built Alligator Alley, and then he opened up another concentrated Fort Bliss, and then he wanted to build another big one in Texas. Now, this time last year, what the amount of money that Joe Biden has spent, Donald Trump has spent more money than from Reagan all the way up until Biden. Donald Trump already spent for 8 months. Donald Trump already spent over $1 trillion. He done spent more. He done expand the deficit more than Biden, more than Obama, more than Clinton, more than George W. Bush. He's at the top. I think he done spent like $1.3 trillion already. Just think about, and then he gave the tax cut to the rich. So there's billions and billions of dollars that would have went into the treasury from the rich folk. It ain't gonna go into the treasury no more. So the budget is gonna fall shorter, and the deficit is only gonna rise. And when the deficit rises, inflation is gonna rise. There's gonna be job loss, plants that close down, car manufacturers that ain't gonna make it. And then he put a tariff, in some cases 50%. So say for example that I had this bottle of water right here. They say I paid $1 for it. I mean wholesale, I paid 50 cents for it. So in retail, you got to at least make what I paid. So if I paid 50 cents, then I'm going to sell this bottle of water for $1. Because I had to go to Tuscaloosa and all that, gas money, all that. So I got to get that back. See, that's what retail is that you bring in something at a price and it got to go out. It got to make me just as much as I made when I bought it. So when I add up whatever I buy, say I bought 20 cases of water and say it came to $500. So I got to make $1,000 plus $50 for my gas. So I got to make $1,050. So I got to make this bottle of water, if I want to break even, $1.10, $1.15. And when he put the tariffs on, he lied to you, telling you that China was going to pay the tariff. But everybody know. I tell you, I've been in sales over 40 years. I know how tariffs work. I don't want to custom to pick up stuff for my boss store. And I know what tariffs is. See, my boss was rich, so All I had to do is go sign, and he's gonna pay them later. Cause sometimes they have 90 days to pay, sometimes 6 months. And if you got real good credit, it's a whole year that you don't have to pay. So all I had to do is go look at the invoice and sign for it, and I saw what he paid tariff, and I understand. And I don't know nobody that don't know what a tariff is. They just lie. Because all you got to do is look up the word tariff, and it'll tell you that's a tax. Whoever is selling the merchandise in America, the reason that you bought it from China, because you bought it from China for half price of what American company want to charge you. So in order for me to go up against the big giants like Kroger's and Publix and Safeway and Home Depot and Lowe's, I have to go to China and buy a China product so I can undercut you. In a big ticket item, I may be able to undercut you by $200 or $300. And that's what would make the person come to me instead of going to the big box store. But everybody go to the grocery store. Everybody know they go to the gas station. Everybody know when they build a house or a car. Everybody know you have to pay a tax. That means that I'm selling the water. I'm not going to pay you the tax because the tax, I'm going to send my taxes to the state. That's not my money, the tax. I send the tax money to the state. And then sometimes you have to pay state and local. That means that in your town, you may have to pay local taxes. You got to pay taxes, school taxes. You got to pay property tax. Everything that your cell phone, your light, everything you do, there's taxes on it. That's to make everything convenient for. I hate to pay high tax, but I don't mind paying my light bill because I know it's a service. I don't mind paying my taxes to help rebuild the roads or build new roads. I don't worry about my taxes when we have to help to feed the hungry or help someone with Medicaid, elderly people that need to go into the nursing home, their family could no longer take care of them. I ain't got no problem with that. But the rich folks got a problem with that. They're going to take away from the poor and the needy and take all those billions and billions of dollars out of the budget by giving them a multi-billion-dollar tax cut. And then they're going to put a 50% tax on us. The people that they just took free lunches from. They just took Medicaid from. They're going to reduce the burden on a billionaire that can pay any kind of price. Bill Gates got a $1.5 billion price yacht. Elon Musk, they got a $700 million yacht. Michael Jordan has got over $1 billion yacht. And you're going to take the money from the poor to give it to the rich and then increase the tax on the rich. That tax break you gave the rich, that's what Donald Trump is using the tariffs for. He's using the tariff to fill in the gap for what he gave to his billionaire buddies that helped put him in the White House. And then the American people, some American people go around and act like they don't know what he's doing. That he's doing such a good thing. Donald Trump has got the lowest approval rate of Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Bush, Ronald Reagan. He got the lowest approval rate. I think the highest approval rate in the economy, and then he got the highest rate. I think is 38, maybe 39%. That's where he at 39, at 38, 36. He ain't doing well at all. But the American Republican, and he had like the economy is doing so good. Just go to the store. I know you're lying because you are going to the grocery store. You are paying for a gallon of orange juice that used to be $4 or $5. Now in some cases it's like $9. Eggs ain't going down. You get good quality eggs, it's gonna be like $6 or $7 a dozen. Gas is over $3 where I live at in the low income area. 309 and 305 right now. I just looked at it yesterday. See, the rich folks is making people poor. The evil people that keep taking from the poor and giving to the rich. God tell us that we don't have to do that no more. We don't have to take that no more. God tell us that we are more precious than silver and gold. That means that there is nothing on earth that got life is more valuable than us. God made all our food. He made the water that we drink. He made the wood to help make the clothes and the wool. And he gave it to us for free. He gave us the flowers, the sun and the moon. God gave it all to us for free. Because God loves us. And God created us in his own image and his own likeness. All we got to do is come to Jesus, just like we are. That's why I'm going to give you an invitation this morning. For you to come to Jesus, just like you are. You don't have to change nothing. Once Jesus catch you, Jesus is the fisherman. Once Jesus catch you, then he take you home and he clean you up. And he take you off that shaky ground and he turn you around and he set your feet right back on solid ground. And all you have to do this morning, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, is to get down on your knees and come to Jesus just like you are. All you got to do is get down on your knees and tell Jesus, Jesus, forgive me. I know I turned my back on you. I know I stopped believing. Out of all the things that you did for me, I stopped believing in you. I'm sorry. I'm asking you to take me off the shaky ground. And I want you to pick me up, turn me around, and set my feet right back on solid ground. And help lead me and guide me in the way that I should go. I want you to strengthen me where I'm weak. I want you to build me up where I'm torn down. I want you to be my bridge over troubled water. I want you to be my way out of no way. I want you to be my doctor in the sick room. I want you to be my lily in the valley. And I want you to be my bright and morning star. So come to Jesus right now while you got a chance. If you haven't blasphemed the Holy Ghost, that's the only sin that you can't be forgiven for. Neither in this world and neither in the world to come. So come to Jesus. If you ain't been baptized, you need to get baptized. Because baptism represents death, burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. When you come out of that water, you're a brand new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, God make all things new. And then I hit my protocol. When I woke up this morning and my eyes came open, and I saw a brand new day, I said, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for starting me on my way. Thank you for clothing me in my right mind. And all of my limbs are working properly. Once I get myself in order, because I'm a sinner just like you. Once I get myself in order, I become Elder G. Then I pray for the one that's in the hospital beds. I pray for the one that's mourning. I pray for the one that's in the nursing home, behind prison bar, and in jailhouses. I pray for every church that's open in Jesus' name. I pray for every pastor that spread the good news. I pray for every deacon that stands and do his deaconly service. Every motherboard, every choir, every usher board, and even the one that's sitting out there in the pew and going up and down these dangerous highways. Then I pray a corporate prayer. Jesus' disciples came to him and asked him to teach them how to pray, the same way John the Baptist taught his disciples. Jesus said, when ye pray, pray ye in this manner. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, O Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not, O Lord, into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. I ask that you follow me on YouTube, and you like my videos, and you share them with your friends and your family. And I'm going to upload to YouTube. I ask that you subscribe, that you like, and you share, and you hit that notification bell. So next time I'm on, you hear that ding, you can look at your phone and say, Elder G is on again. Call your friend and just sit back and listen to the man of God. That's what's important in life. We can see all the things, all the war and all the rumor wars going on around the world. We can see that time is winding up. You can see it. The Bible says there's going to be rumors, and there's going to be war, and there's going to be rumors of war. He said the end is not yet, but it's just birthing pain, letting you know that the baby is going to be ready to be delivered soon. I love you. I appreciate everyone that followed me, everyone that subscribed, everyone that hit that notification bell or share or like. I love you. And may the Lord watch between me and thee while we absent one from another. I ask that you go in peace. Bye-bye.